Hey, it's VFL John Fulkerson, and you're listening to the No Playbook Podcast.
Hey, thanks for checking out the show. It's the podcast where we talk with the outstanding athletes, coaches, and experts that help to make sports and fitness such an important part of life here in the Southeast. This one was really fun for me. As a Tennessee fan, I'm obviously very familiar with John Fulkerson, as he was with the team for 6 years. And he's been a real fan favorite, for Vols fans for a long time here in East Tennessee. So it was great to catch up with John, just to hear how things are going with his international basketball career overseas. If you don't know this, he's currently playing pro ball in Belgium, actually with two other former Vols on his team right now. We talk a lot about that, his whole experience in Belgium, his recent wedding, and we talk about growing up in the Tri-Cities as we're about to open up a brand new D1 in Johnson City, Tennessee. This episode has a little bit of something extra too, a bit of a bonus segment, some context and backstory. So my fantasy football league at D1, we got a unique deal where every single week, whoever has the most points that week gets to give this punishment to whoever had the lowest points that week. So last week, that was me. I had the most points. So I got to kind of get creative with a punishment, handed out to our D1 regional director here in East Tennessee. Ryan Nelson is his name. I basically created the opportunity for him to do some man on the streets type, make a segment out of that, where he had to go around, interview people, ask them the question that I posed to everyone on this show towards the end of my interviews. And that's to share one unforgettable sports memory that's either as an athlete or as a spectator. Stick around after the Fulky interview to hear that segment, and I'll get right to VFL John Fulkerson right after this. Sit tight.
Recruit Me puts the recruiting process in your hands. Most student athletes wait for college coaches to discover them, but coaches are busy and don't always have the time to find them. Recruit Me allows you to build an online profile to share directly with college coaches and is designed to help you enter all of the information coaches want to see. Your stats, your highlight videos, your academic information, your social links, and more. Plus, our team is here to make sure that your profile stands out with personalized suggestions. With over 25,000 coaches in our database, our premium plan gives you access to D1, D2, D3, and NAIA coaches across the country, and more importantly, gives them access to you. Enter your schedule of games and tournaments to let coaches know when and where you're playing so they can come out and watch you shine. Then communicate with interested coaches via our chat feature. When it comes to recruiting, don't make coaches research you. Do the work for them. Get started today at the Recruit Me app, on the web, and in the app stores.
At D1 Training, what we do is in our name. Our D1 athletes become D1 athletes. Whether it's Los Angeles Angels pitcher Ben Joyce, high school soccer national MVP Brindley Murphy, or first-round NFL draft pick Cole Strange, we help all athletes reach their full potential. 5-star training system comes straight from D1 strength and conditioning programs, and D1 has trained over 2,000 professional athletes. Many of them started as young as 7 years old. Check out D1Training.com to learn more about their facilities in Hardin Valley and Sevierville, and coming very soon to Maryville and the Tri-Cities.
More things. What time is it there? 8?
So it's 8:08. Yeah, 8:08 p.m.
Are you used to that yet?
Last year was a really big shock, just because it was my first year overseas, and it took a long time to adjust. But now, after being over here for already 10 months, and then already over a month now, I'm used to it by now.
Wow. So what are you doing exactly? So you're playing basketball, obviously. What is forgive me, I don't know a lot about the Belgium basketball scene. Like, what is it? I mean, is it full stands?
So really it's really popular over here. However, I would say that what they call football, what we call soccer, is the biggest sport here. And so that's really, really popular. But also basketball is as well. I would say it's probably the second most popular sport, just because I feel like us Americans know how popular soccer is, especially abroad. But we have a great fan base. The fans around Belgium, and we also play in the Netherlands as well. And so the fan base is they're really into the games, into their programs and clubs is what they call it here. And so, but nothing like Thompson Bowling Arena and like 20 some thousand fans. I would say that our average arena holds probably, like in our conference, probably 4,000 people, and usually most of them are pretty full.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a much smaller arena size, but the crowds are always really loud and really, really packed too.
What led you to choosing Belgium? I know that I knew a guy that was from Maryville, Lee Humphrey, old two guard from Florida. He played, I think, in Turkey, and then there's folks that play in Spain and Italy. Like, how does that work?
So really, it all depends on your agent, really. And so my agent is based out of Slovenia, and so but he has connections kind of all over. And so my agent thought this would be a great place for me, and it is a place that is very what he calls and now I call Americanized, and that means that there's other Americans on the team and that people speak English here, and like we drive on the same side of the road as in the States. So it's not a whole lot different. It's not a whole lot different, but then every single aspect is different. But with the communication, driving, living, it's somewhat similar to the United States. And so I think that my agent placing his players in places that they're comfortable with and that they're happy with is why I would say I'm in Belgium.
Yeah. What's the main language?
So there's actually 3 official languages for Belgium, and it's Dutch, French, and German. But where I'm at, I would say 75 to 85% speak Dutch, but then also I would say about 99% speak English.
Oh wow!
So
okay,
well, as their second, third, or fourth language. So, like if we go out to eat, you know, our waiter or waitress will come up to us and just start talking, and gibberish is what we sound like, and be like, "I'm sorry, like, can you talk in English?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, like, what can I get you to drink?" So it's
okay.
really, everybody knows English, so it's really good.
Okay, is there good food there?
There is, and I haven't really found anything here that I exactly couldn't get in the States. I would say some big differences are in my city, there's not a whole lot of fast food. Like there's no drive-throughs here. But
No pals.
no pals. There is like McDonald's, Burger King, Subway, Pizza Hut, Domino's, but I didn't really eat those places in the States, so I don't eat them here. But all the places I eat here are like local places. There's not really a whole lot of chains here, like Texas Roadhouse, Olive Garden, Cheddar's, places like those. There's not like all the places we go. It's like there's maybe 1 or 2 of the locations total, like in the world. They're really like hole in the wall places, small places, and so that's really neat and really different from the States as well.
That's great. And I brought up pals because didn't you have a deal with them?
I did. Yes, I did.
I remember that.
Yeah.
The old days of college NIL.
Yep.
So what is the wife? Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
What does she think of Belgium?
So she really likes it as well. It's obviously a lot different, and I mean, I guess first of all, shout out to her for kind of supporting me on my journey, moving across the world. And so I'm very thankful for that, for her support. But I think the way we look at it is like, yes, I'm playing basketball, and like, yes, this is my job, but we're also looking at it as, hey, like, we just got married, we're young, we travel over here, like, we don't have any kids, like, we don't have any expenses, like, my club pays for my car and my apartment, and so like we're just kind of, it's almost like kind of like a, how many of our years I want to play basketball. We're just kind of messing around, I guess you would say, just kind of enjoying life while we can. So that's kind of the way we look at it, instead of being like, oh, like we have to go over there for 9 months or 10 months and we're stuck, or different things. Like, I think it's just about your mindset, and like, be like, hey, like if I wasn't playing basketball here, I don't think that we would choose to travel overseas. Like, I think we would go like different places. And so I think just a blessing to be in this spot, and a great opportunity.
Probably pretty fun for a newlywed couple too. I would
It's
imagine
very,
that's. Yeah. By the way, I've got to give a quick shout. I saw the pictures of you in a tux with Jordans.
so they were Panda Dunks.
Oh,
They look like Jordan, so they're all Nike. They're like, I guess your new, not your newest, but your most popular Nike shoe out right now, I guess I would say. And so yeah, I just got married, and I saw a few pictures like on just Instagram, and people doing that. And so I decided that I would get all my groomsmen, that would be their gift from me to them, just for them being a great friend to me, and then also for taking the time to be there during my wedding weekend. And so I got the go ahead from my wife that we could wear them in the wedding. And so I thought they looked good, because we had black and white suits. I guess you saw, and the shoes are black and white, and hopefully that everybody can, continue wearing them. It wasn't just like a one-time wear, that they can wear them after. And so I thought it was a cool idea, and so
yeah.
I just went for it.
Yeah, I like that. So what is your plan or hope for basketball future? Like, do you want to be a coach? Are you on a path to make it back to the States, or like what's in your vision board there?
So really, it's funny you ask, because after my first week over here, I texted my wife, and I was like, honey, I think I'm gonna have to look for a job after this year, because my body hurt so bad, and I was sore, I was tired, the jet lag was getting to me. But then once I got settled in, and I mean, after a few days, I was fine. And so really, I think just taking it year by year from playing over here. And I think the reason for my retirement will be that, one, my body cannot take it any longer, and I don't want to force it any longer. But then also that me and my wife want to settle down somewhere in East Tennessee, and settle down for a few years, and then start a family. And then after that, I have absolutely no clue of what job profession I want to go into. I tell people, I say, half the reason why I'm playing basketball is because I don't want to work another job. And whether that's true or not, I don't know. But, hey, I can play and make some good money. So, why not play for as long as I can?
Yeah. And then if you can parlay that into some sort of basketball career, even
Mhm.
better. Beyond that, I mean,
Right, right.
that'd be pretty sweet. So you're a Johnson City kid, is that right? Or Kingsport?
Team sport. So
Okay.
I was born in Johnson City just because my aunt worked at the hospital, but raised definitely in Kingsport.
Yeah. What was your like childhood um sports life like? Were you always a basketball guy?
I kind of get on to my parents, because my parents only played me one season of T-ball. And with me being like 6'9", lanky, left-handed, like I kind of get on to them, because I feel like I could have easily been a pitcher and made a whole lot more money with a lot less stress on my body. So I've talked to my parents about that. But I played football, like pee wee football, and then middle school football as well. But then after a few hits, and me being the body style I am, I realized that wasn't the sport for me. So basketball it was, and really it was really basketball from the beginning. And long story short, I knew I was really into basketball when I played upward basketball. And Are you familiar with Upward
Oh
Basketball?
yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was at this church in Kingsport, and we got like these little tags on our jerseys, and I had green and you had green, so we could only guard each other. And I remember I was playing, and I was like probably kindergarten, first, second grade, and I was like all over the court guarding everybody, wanting to guard everybody, like stealing it from the other people. And so I knew that I was really competitive basketball, and then also they didn't keep score, and I was trying to play the game and keep score. And I would ask my parents like after the game, like, "Hey, did we win? What was the score?" And so I knew from then like that basketball was definitely going to be in my future.
Yeah. And then you grow up, obviously have an amazing high school career. I read that you had 20 D1 offers.
Yeah, I had at least that many. I would say probably a lot more. And just to go on that, I would say that my recruiting process was pretty slow to begin with. Going into my senior year summer, so the summer before my senior year, I think I had 3 Division I offers. And then after that summer, going into my senior year at Christ School, I think I had like over 30. And
Wow.
so it was within like a 3 month span that I basically got all of my offers. And so it was a hectic time, but it was also really fun because my phone was literally just blowing up of like coaches just calling like, "Hey, this is coach from this school. Like, I saw you play. I want to offer you a scholarship." And so it was really, really fun. I'm glad I was able to experience it. And I think that we can all agree I definitely picked the best school to go to.
Like, yeah. Do you have any fun stories? I love hearing fun recruiting stories from like a visit or some kind of a pitch.
Um, so one about Tennessee, I'll just say this. So Tennessee, so that was Coach Barnes' first year recruiting me. Or no, so his first year recruiting me was his first year on staff at Tennessee. And so if you remember, our class was like we had 6 people in our class. Me, Grant Williams, Jordan Bowden, Jordan Bone, Jalen Johnson, and Quay Parker. So we had like a big class. It was Coach Barnes' staff first year. And so they were recruiting me, and kind of with the recruiting process, obviously the coaches text you, call you, text your parents, call your parents, but they also like send a lot of letters to your house too. And so at the time, I wasn't living at home. I went to Christ School, so I was like 2 hours away. And so coaches would always ask for my address, and I would just give my home address. And so my mom would call me like, "Hey, you got a letter from this school, you got a letter from this school, you got like 5 letters from this school." And so when Tennessee was like recruiting me, I was talking to the coaches the whole time. And my mom was like, she's like, "John, that's really weird. Like, you haven't received any letters from Tennessee." And really, the letters didn't really mean a whole lot. They were just kind of like uh, a pamphlet of like a printed out thing. And like, it wasn't really necessarily the coaches sending them. It might have been like the managers or the graduate assistants or something. And so my mom told the coaching staff at Tennessee, she said, "Hey, you guys are recruiting John, but he's getting letters at home from all these other schools, but he hasn't got any letters from Tennessee." And after she said that, I think that they put like all of the managers and the grad assistants on sending letters to my house. Cause I think we got probably for the next 2 weeks, we probably got 15 letters a day. And so there's like a stack. I'm pretty sure my mom kept it. We got like a huge, huge stack of letters, just everything and anything from Tennessee that you could think of. And uh, so then she was like, "Okay," like they sent the letters, like, and the letters didn't even mean anything, but for them to take the time, they fulfilled her want of getting the letters. But I mean, we got hundreds and hundreds of letters from Tennessee.
String like the second Harry Potter movie when all the letters are just flying in magically, just nonstop.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, so if you didn't know this, we're bringing a D1 training to the Tri-Cities. It's going to be in Johnson City in the old Reel to Reel.
Mm-hmm.
So I wondered if you had any old memories from that building. Seems like whenever I bring it up, people are like,
Where
"Oh, that's."
those were at?
So close to what do they call it? The Peerless Center. There's an old
Okay.
movie theater down there, and we're gonna be in that old movie theater.
No, I don't think I didn't really spend a whole lot of time in Johnson City, and if I did, it was like kind of in and around Science Hill. So I was never,
Mhm.
but I know exactly where you're talking about.
Yeah, this is pretty close to Science Hill.
So instead of taking a right off the interstate coming from Kingsport, you take a left, correct?
Okay, I'm still learning it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not that far from Science Hill, not that far from ETSU even.
Mhm.
I actually were talking with I just interviewed the head basketball coach at ETSU. He's an
Mhm.
old Tennessee guy, but
Yes,
I'm just learning that whole area and I'm loving it and looking forward to it. I think our facility is going to open probably in January.
good, good.
Uh,
Will it be similar to other D1 or will it be exactly like other D1 locations?
it won't be exactly like the one in Knoxville, which is one of the bigger ones
Okay,
in the company, but it'll still have a turf, a weight room and all that stuff, and it'll still have the same requirements for the coaches, so everybody that's there will know and like basketball wise be able to help folks with their vertical and all that kind of stuff.
good.
Yeah. Um, but I wanted to ask, since you were a Tennessee guy even before you came to Vols, who are some of your favorite players as a kid?
I would say easily Chris Lofton and Wayne Chisholm are people I really liked watch play and remember seeing play. And then also Skylar McBee as well. I really like watching him too.
It's funny to me that I think about these guys and then your career, and because you were a student for 15 years, um, so it felt like you didn't play with Skylar McBee. No, I guess that was before you. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
but your record of most games is like that's never going to be beaten, right?
Hopefully not. Hopefully I can at least have one record at Tennessee. That way my name and Tennessee stay connected. But I've told people if I played 6 years at Tennessee and if I was eligible to play six more, I would. I mean, I literally love that place and everything about it.
Heck yeah. Well, that's great. I know one of the games that I'll always remember with you is that Arizona game, and I think it was 21. And
Yep,
yeah, I don't know if you'll remember the old video game NBA Jam, but it would be like it would say he's heating up, and when your player was in this video game was you're hot, you can't miss. I felt like that was you on both the defensive side and offensive side that night. Do you feel that when you're hot in one of those games?
I did. Yeah, I mean, sadly, I think I only felt that way maybe like a few times in my career, which is not great. But yeah, I mean that game was really really fun. I remember it was December 22nd was the date because after that um we got to go home for Christmas and I was having a basketball camp that next day and it was like my first ever basketball camp and I was remembering I was like, "Hey guys, like let's get this win. We're going into Christmas break so we can have a good Christmas break. We can enjoy our Christmas. The coaches will be chill. We can be chill." And so I remember, and I want to say both teams were undefeated, maybe like 8-0, 9-0. They were ranked like number 5 or something. We were like number 9, and they had a very very good team. And we came out ready to play. I think we got up big on them early, and then we just kind of kept that momentum going. But yeah, they had some really good players, but we played really well as well.
Yeah. What is it an unforgettable like just sports memory for you, even as like a little kid, as a player or as a spectator?
Um, I really, really wish I was at that Alabama football game last year. But I was over here, and so I think if you would ask probably 99% of all fans, they would say maybe that win last year against Alabama, but I wasn't there for that. So I would say maybe winning the SEC tournament in Tampa. That was my last year. So what, 2022? And just because it's something that Tennessee hadn't done in a long time. And for me to come back my last year, and to be able to accomplish that compared to what happened the year before in the SEC tournament, I think it was just kind of like a full circle. And I remember I was so emotional. I was crying. I was hugging my teammates. My family was there, and so it was just a great time.
Yeah. It was the same way for us watching at home, just because, like you said, the year before was a heartbreaker, and so it was certainly exciting. All right, I got a quick speed round for you. This is just for players that you played with over your 6 years at Tennessee.
Okay.
All right, first
There's
up,
only like 100.
yeah, that's right. Funniest guy that you ever played with.
Funniest guy, I would say, I think I'll have more than one answer. Funniest guy is either Lucas Campbell or Brock Jancey.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
If a coach strikes you as one of these, let me know. By the way, like if you're like, no, it's
wow,
got to
I
be. I
didn't.
just mean if
I
something.
mean, we've had some very funny. I would say a coach that was at Tennessee while I was there. His name was Aubin Gorporo. I think
Okay.
he's the head coach at West High School now. And but he was at Tennessee for a few years, but he was very funny. And if you have any other Tennessee players on here that were played during his time, they would definitely agree.
Yeah. Now, my experience with Josiah, I think he's a pretty funny dude, but
He
still, people insist Jonas is the funniest guy right now.
both of those guys are very, very funny. But I mean, I'm literally laughing just thinking about some of the stuff that Lucas and Brock would do, and the stuff I'm thinking about it, I cannot share on here. But man, they were really funny. But those guys are funny too.
Yeah, kind of silly too. I've spent some time with Jonas,
Yeah.
and he's just kind of a goofy guy. Best dressed.
Best dressed, I would say Kennedy Chandler.
Okay, great. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
who could most easily talk their way out of a speeding ticket?
I would say quite a few people on our team, but I would say if I had to choose somebody that could definitely talk their way out of speeding, I would say Lamonte Turner could talk their
Okay,
way out of.
he's a smooth guy.
Smooth guy, knows how to kind of negotiate, understand where you're coming from, rebuttal, argue to a certain point. So I think he could get his way out.
Yeah. Now, who do you have a sister?
I have two younger sisters.
Oh, okay. Which guy would you least want to date? Your sister.
Well, I think the better question is, who would I not let them date? And really,
Yeah.
I think it would like be the whole team, like everybody I played with.
Yeah.
But if I could choose two people that I would let my sisters date, they're both married now, and I would say Lucas Campbell and Brad Woodson.
Okay. Is there one guy that you're like, just absolutely not? I don't care what is said. You're not dating whoever it might. You're not going to go anywhere with Zakai Ziegler.
Honestly, respectfully, 90% of the guys that I played with, and I played with some great guys, but I guess I can just say I have very high expectations for my sisters. But however, I'm not downgrading my teammates. I've had great teammates. But I would say, hey, if you're going to pick from my teammates, you've got two choices, and those are the two choices that I would give them.
What do you think would be a good broadcaster? You know, you often think like who's going to play the longest or who could be the best coach, but I'm curious. You think any of those guys could be in a booth one day?
I think that Kyle Alexander, I think he has a great voice. I'm not sure if you ever heard his voice, but he's like commentated, or he's kind of done like voiceovers for things before. He's got a really deep solid voice. So he could definitely do something with his voice. And he likes to sing as well. But I think I think Grant would be a very good play-by-play person, because he really knows the game and understands the game, and now he's playing at the highest level there is. And so I think Grant would be a great commentator, play-by-play person.
And that's something that might actually happen too, because he's one of those
Right.
guys that's going to have such a great career that I could see that
Yeah,
coming.
Grant. I think Grant will be able to kind of choose whatever field or job he wants to go into once his very long NBA career is done.
Right. So, John, is there any way that folks can watch your games now?
Yes. So my league is the B Next League. So it's BNXT. And I think if you just search it on Google, it's just BNXT like .com, and all games are live there. And we usually play on Saturdays. So yeah, feel free to tune in. We've
Excellent.
got myself and two other fellow Tennessee Volunteers on our team this year. So that's going to be exciting.
Oh, wow. Who are they?
Tyreek Key from last year.
Heck yeah.
And then Victor Bailey Jr. He was there for a few years, and then he transferred to George Mason with Kim English.
Is he transferred from Oregon?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I remember him. And then Tyreek, I was working with him a little bit to put together an NIL event last year, and then he got hurt.
Okay.
Yeah. Ended up going with Josiah. All right, man. I was hoping you were going to say is on ESPN Plus. There's just so much stuff on that.
I know there is.
But all right, dude. Well, I'm so grateful to get some of your time. I know it's getting late there in Belgium. And by the way, sorry, I was texting with you the other day, and I had no idea that it was like midnight your time. I didn't even think about that.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. And usually I'll text people like until I go to sleep, and then that's usually anywhere from 10:30 to 12:30. But then when I wake up at like 8 a.m., it's just a habit to text them back, and it's 2 a.m. your time. Like it's 2 a.m. in Tennessee. And so I'm like, man, like, because if I don't, I'll forget, and then I'll never text back. And so I'm like, man, I just texted all these people back at 2 a.m. Like they think I'm up doing crazy things. And so, but yeah.
That's great, man. Thank you so much. I'm going to put this together and have it out soon. Okay.
Absolutely. Let me know if you need anything else or how I can ever help.